Hi everyone, it's Heather. Welcome back into the Paper Castle. This is, well, a small haul I have to show you guys today from some thrift stores up here that I actually went to before we went to Florida. I have to drive about 25 minutes to get to the closest one, and that one's been there for a while, and the reason I went out there was because a few miles down the road from that one they just built a big Goodwill, so I wanted to check that out. So I did get a few things from there, and then I also have a few things from an estate sale to show you, along with a couple things from Florida. Didn't find anything good in Florida until the last day, and I think maybe that was the universe's way of kind of repaying me, because the day before was not such a fun day for me. I'll explain that in a minute. But we did just get back from Florida a few days ago. We had a good time. This was, I think, the first time in a very long time that we actually went down and came back with no flight delays. We are like the royal family of flight delays. I think it's something about that particular flight from Newark to Orlando, and it never fails. We'll leave the house, and within 20 minutes, our phones start beeping, and it says, "Oh, your flight's been delayed." And it's ridiculous. And sometimes it's delayed for hours for no reason, or else no reason that we know of. Our friend teases us because he flies all over the place, like all year long, and he hardly ever has a delay. And we fly twice a year, and he's like, "What is with you people?" So this time, miraculously, there were no delays. We had fantastic weather. It didn't rain one day down there. It was like the low 80s, not too humid. We took the kids to the beach and walked around. We did an escape room, which I love. I could do those every day. Those are so much fun. They're like my new favorite thing to do. I wish they just weren't, so expensive. It's not something, unfortunately, you can do every single day. Took the kids to a rock climbing place so they could climb around indoors. We went to Daytona, my husband and I, which was a very, very long day. but that was fun. And it was funny because for the past couple years we've been sitting next to this Canadian couple. And last year, it gets really cold. You wouldn't think, because, it's Florida, that it would get cold, but it does. You're way, way high up in the stands, and the wind's blowing, and where we are, the sun sets, and we get shade before most of the other sections of the stands, so it gets really cold. I mean, last year I had a sweatshirt over my legs, even though I had jeans on. I had gloves. I had earmuffs with me. I mean, it was ridiculous. But I needed them. And the lady next to me last year was like, "Oh my God, you have gloves, that's such a good idea." So this year she was all decked out, and she pulls like a hat and gloves out of her, mittens out of her bag, and she's like, "Look, I'm ready this year." She's like, "I have my Canadian toque," which is like her knit hat with a little like fur beanie thing on the top of it. And then she had mittens, big thick knit mittens that had a big maple leaf on them, so she was ready to go. So that was Sunday, and then Monday I was really excited because Monday was my day, and we were going to Disney, to the Magic Kingdom, and I haven't been to the Magic Kingdom in, I think, 9 years, since my daughter was 3. And the last time we went was a disaster because my daughter was not into it. She wanted to go to the beach instead, and when we got there she cried all day because things were too loud and too crowded and this and that, and so she was miserable and I was miserable, and it was just not fun. So I thought, okay, they're 12 and 22 now. It's gonna be a good day, right? And no. And not because of my kids. My kids were great. We brought my niece along too, who's 21, so I had all the kids with me. I was really excited. And then I figured out later that the Magic Kingdom is no longer magical for me. They broke my heart last Monday. They really, really did. The whole reason that park is special for me is because, or was special for me, was because of the Rose Garden. if you're not familiar with Disney, the castle is at the end of Main Street, and then in front of it is a big circle, which they call the hub, and then all the streets branch off of that to go to the different lands. And the branch that went to Tomorrowland, right before you really got into Tomorrowland, there was a little brick sidewalk that kind of went down a hill and wound around a little bit, and it went down to what was once the old swan boat rides. And it opened up at the bottom. There was a big metal structure that you could stand under, which I guess was where you waited for the swan boat rides, and there was a big lake behind that. And everywhere there were gorgeous rose bushes. It was just the most beautiful place to me in the park. And it was nice because you could walk down there and you could get away from all the little ones and the noise and the crowds, and it was just a nice place to kind of take a minute and breathe. And when my first husband passed, don't tell Disney about this, but I took a very small portion of his ashes, and that's where I put them. I put them in the rose garden so that he would always have a view of the castle, because, you know, he liked Disney too. And then a few years later, my husband now, unbeknownst, he had no idea that I had even sprinkled my late husband's ashes there. He set up an engagement package through Disney, and he proposed to me in the rose garden, which I think I've told the entire story in a different video. Don't know which one though, sorry. But it was amazing. We got to watch the fireworks from there, and it was fantastic. So I was all excited to show the kids, you know, where their dad had proposed to me, and I'm rushing down Main Street, and we get there, and I'm looking, and all of a sudden I'm like kind of all disoriented, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, where's the path? And I look, and I realize they have completely demolished it. I mean, bulldozed it. It's gone. There's not one speck of it left. They did it to widen that hub so that they could fit more people in there, and, you know, there wouldn't be so much traffic. They put up a whole bunch of big trees, so the place where we used to stand to see the fireworks, which was just outside the rose garden, you can't stand there anymore and watch them because you wouldn't be able to really see them. So at that particular moment, I was really upset, but I was more mad than upset. But I kind of put it in the back of my head, and we went off with the kids, and we were having a really good time until it was time to wait for the fireworks. And we usually did that like 45 minutes to an hour before they started. And I knew this was a new show, but we were walking from one side of the park to the other and crossing that hub, and we saw all these people like sitting around in the you know, along the sidewalks and stuff. And I'm like, is there a parade before the fireworks? Because it was like almost 2 hours before the fireworks. And I asked my son, and he gets out the little schedule. He goes, no, it's just the fireworks. I go, are they like lining up this early? He goes, it looks that way. I'm like, what the heck? So I really wanted to see the fireworks because that was another special thing, you know, for me and my husband. So the kids went off to do their own thing, and we went and found a seat across the street from the castle, and we sat down. And all of a sudden, like, all these people keep coming and coming and coming, and then they're sitting in the street, which Disney doesn't usually let people sit in the street. And they're all sitting in the street, and everything, you know, no one was yelling at them. And I'm like, what is going on? And then finally these employees came with these lights, because it was starting to get dark, the big wands, and they're waving them around, and they're saying, oh, you know, stand up and move closer. And they're literally herding us like cattle so that they can fit more and more people as close to the castle as possible. And I couldn't understand why until I saw the fireworks show, which technically, I mean, kudos to whoever designed it, because it is brilliant. It's amazing for those who like that kind of thing. But for me, now you really have to have a seat close in front of the castle in order to see it, because they use the castle like as a projection screen. And for me, it was like an 18-minute Disney trailer for Disney movies. And if I want to see a Disney movie, I'll go rent one or, you know, pull one out of my cabinet. So I was not, I was not happy. So when I started to realize what this was going to be, before I even saw the show, just that I had to be like herded in with all these strangers and so close and claustrophobic, that's when it hit me that the Rose Garden was gone, the fireworks weren't going to be the same, and I just lost it. And just started crying right there in the middle of Disney World. And thank God my kids weren't there, because I'm not an emotional person at all. I think maybe they've seen me cry 3 or 4 times in their entire life. And when I do, they get really freaked out because they know something's got to be seriously wrong if mom's sad. I'm the least emotional person in this whole house. And so I'm just standing there with tears running down my face. My husband's putting his arm around me. He's like, "Con, I'm so sorry." He's like, "You're breaking my heart." And I'm like, "Disney broke my heart." Because it's stupid, I know, but that little tiny piece of land was my favorite place on this whole earth, and they just bulldozed it and took it away and didn't even leave a tiny piece of it. And there's so many people other than us that got engaged there or celebrated something special right there, and now it's gone. So, needless to say, I did not have a good time. I did with the kids, but that part of it was not fun. And then we went to meet back up with the kids, and my kids loved it, and my niece loved it, but my son knew as soon as he saw what it was going to be. He came and found me, and he just looked at me and goes, "I'm sorry." He goes, "I know that's not what you wanted." He goes, I know you hated it." And my husband even said, he goes, "I thought you were just going to turn around and walk away and leave." And I go, "I couldn't. There were too many people. I couldn't get out." So, anyway, I won't be going back there for a long time now. I guess I'll have to pick one of the other ones as my favorite. So sorry for the rambling, but I had to vent all that frustration. But then we went to Waffle House on the way home, which, you know, always makes me happy. I'm a cheap date. I like Waffle House. We had a fantastic waiter. He was just the sweetest guy you'd ever want to meet. And we got to see Waffles the Frog again, because the last time we went in July, we went to the same Waffle House, sat in the same seat, and outside on the ledge there was this little tiny frog, and we named him Waffles. And we got there this time and we sat down, and there he was again. And then two of his friends came up too, so we named them Pancakes and Hash Browns. So, okay, enough of me babbling on about my sadness and disappointment. But we really did have a good vacation, except for that one little piece of it. I'm going to show you what I got at an estate sale first that I hit, I think the Sunday before we left. I went to one on Saturday where the woman is really overpriced. It was a nice house. They had a lot of good stuff, but her prices are crazy expensive. So I pretty much just walked around, looked at everything, and walked right out. Then the next day there was another one not far from here, so I went to that one, and I think I spent like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, $13? Something like that. So first I got this Cliben mug. Cliben is the name of the artist, which is right here. And there's some woman on eBay like stalking me because I have this mug up and I put vintage in the title because it's almost 30 years old. And because it's not made by Kilncraft, it's made by distributed by another company, she's like gone on this rant that I shouldn't put vintage in the title and how dare I, and she did the same thing on another one of my items, and I'm like, great, that's exactly what I need when I get back. So I have ignored her, but I did block her so that she can never buy any of my items because I don't need to have that drama in my life. But in addition to that, that was 50 cents. I should be able to get about 10 on that. And I did buy these. These I thought were cool, that were $2.50 because everything was half off. These are called granny racers, and it's like it's a little racetrack. And the little grannies are in wheelchairs and they go around the track, and it's really cute. And it does work, but it doesn't work fantastic. I gotta see if my husband can work on the contacts under the wheelchairs, and if I can get them to work a little bit better, I think I might sell them on eBay. I can probably get about 20 bucks for it. If not, I'm gonna just put it in a consignment sale, which is coming up in the beginning of April. And then the last three things I bought there were books. I thought these were Easton Press when I saw them from far away, but it's from another company I've never heard of called, where is it? The Library of American Freedoms. And they make all these leather-bound editions of historical books. So they had a bunch. They wanted $5 for the sealed ones and $3 for the unsealed ones. So I just took a chance on 3 of them because I didn't want to spend a whole bunch of money there. But I got the Federalist by Hamilton, Madison, and Jay. Alexander Hamilton, John Jay, and James Madison. That should go for, I think all these should get about 20. One might get about 30. This one was sealed, so it was 5. Hello, wake up. Yeah, I don't think it wants to focus because of the glare. But anyway, this one is Jefferson and Madison. And this one is two treatises on government. So, not anything I want to read, but a lot of other people might be interested in it. So I got those. So actually I spent, I spent 16 at that sale. But I should definitely make that back by selling, just one of those books. So then I hit the thrift stores, like I said, I think the day before we left. And the first one was the one that I always go to. They used to be a Salvation Army, now they're called Yellow Tag Thrift. In the beginning, when they first switched over, they were really organized and not too expensive. And now the store is just jam-packed and a little claustrophobic, and the prices on some things are nuts. So I don't go there too often, but I did find some things there. I found 2 needlepoint kits from Elsa Williams. This one's called Homegrown. One of these just sold, I think, for $25 with free shipping, if I'm not mistaken. But I put mine up for auction for $40 because on another site, like a dedicated needlework site where they sell hard to find kits, they had this one up there for $95. So I put this one up for $40, and I do have a few watchers on it and it ends tonight, so we'll see what happens with that. That was $4.99. And then so was this one. This is another one, an Americana welcome sign with the big pineapple. This is based on stencil art. So again, $4.99, and I think I put this one up for $30 with free shipping, I think. And then I was walking around trying to see if I could find anything else. They didn't have any good coffee mugs or anything like that. But I did find this pillow. This is a needlepoint pillow with a really pretty lighthouse scene on it. It does have a tiny bit of wear right up there, but that's no big deal. And the reason I picked it up, well, I picked it up because of the scene on it, but I also picked it up because it says on the back here, it says Katha Diddle Home Collection. I don't know if you guys can see that, if it's focusing. I have my glasses on, but this still looks fuzzy to me. But this woman, unfortunately, she passed. She would think she was in like her mid-50s. And she passed from cancer just a few years ago, unfortunately. But she had this entire collection of pillows and other home deck things that I guess she imported into the country. And I've sold one of her pillows before and did pretty well on it. So I paid $4.99 for that also. And I think I put that up for $30 plus shipping, maybe? Or maybe $30 with free shipping. I don't know. My head's still in like vacation mode, and the day we came back was gorgeous and it was 70 degrees here, and then every day since it's just rained and been gloomy and gross, and you know, my head's all fuzzy from the weather. You know how it is. It rains that much and you're tired and you don't want to do anything. You're like, ugh. So then from there I went to Goodwill, and the Goodwill's nice. It's big, it's really organized. But of course, one of the things I found didn't have a price on it, but we worked that out. But for $1.99, I bought this monogram mug because I knew that this was from Anthropologie, because I'd sold one earlier in the summer. So, although it doesn't say Anthropologie on the bottom, but it is. So I think I put that up for $18 or $19.99 with free shipping. Then, this is a little bit more than I wanted to pay for this, but for $9.99 I got this Billy Buttons Santa figurine. He's kind of on a little spring above these trees, so when you push him he wobbles back and forth. But I bought him because he's Department 56, and they had a whole line of these Billy Buttons, and some of them can sell pretty well. This one's, you know, it's still in the box, although the box has a little, you can see right here, it looks like there's a little water damage, but everything inside looks fantastic. So, I'm thinking at least $30, maybe a little more for him. And then the last thing I got that had no price was this. I had no idea what it was when I first picked it up, but it says TELD 3, Test of Early Language Development. And what it is like testing material to determine whether a child is on the autism spectrum. So it comes with this picture book, Form A and Form B. It's a two-sided book. Then it comes with all these little toys. There's a doll and a ball and a shoe and a car and blocks. I guess they have to identify everything. And then there's supposed to be like an educator's book in here, but that's not in here, but you can buy it separately. And then there are these forms. There's Form B and Form A. There's 25 in here, which are new and sealed, and I think, if I'm right, there's 23 here. These by themselves are pretty expensive. If you search for this whole kit on Amazon, including, and it includes the educator's book, they want like over $600 for this thing. It's crazy. I bought it because I saw somebody else sell one for $50, and it had exactly the same components as I did, but theirs was a buy it now. So I think I might put mine up for $100 at auction and see what happens with it. But I went up to check out, and there were two ladies in front of me, and they were each at a separate cashier, and they both had cartfuls of clothes, and they were both almost done. And as I walked up, I heard the one cashier say to the one lady, you know, that'll be $71. And she went, what? She goes, $71. She's like, oh no. And this lady proceeded to pull every single item out of her bag and go, how much is this? How much is this? How much was this? How much was this? How much is this? And then the lady next to her I realized was a friend of hers, so she starts arguing with her cashier because she doesn't think her title's right either. So now the two of them have their phones out with their calculators and they're arguing with the cashiers. This went on for like 10 or 15 minutes. Now I have a line of people behind me. Finally, they called a manager up to deal with them because they were out of control. Ugh, my God. So then I felt bad because I have all these people behind me, and I walked up to the girl. Okay, this is going to stop in a minute, I think. Oh my God, it's not. Seriously? Okay. This is normally the time when my camera, you know, takes a dump and I have to restart it, but I got a new SD card. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but hooray. I may have finally solved the problem. I went up to this cashier and I felt bad because I go up with this thing And I said, I'm so sorry. I'm like, this has no price on it. And I said, you know, there's a line of people behind me and I'm so sorry. Okay. I guess it did turn itself off. Another day, her and I went to a few more thrift stores. Yeah, the day before we left. And I did end up finding 2 ties for $1.99 a piece at 2 different stores. And I bought both of them because they were Grateful Dead or Jerry Garcia, because I have a whole lot of maybe 15 or 16 right now. And I want to sell them all together. So I bought these to throw into the lot. And then the last store we went to was the Salvation Army thrift store, which I normally don't find fantastic stuff in. Last time I did find that sealed missal, you know, the religious book, and sold that for $50. But other than that, I've never had fantastic luck there. But as we were walking out, I looked up on a bookcase and I saw this, and I saw that it said Soul Train. And what this is a 9 DVD set, the best of Soul Train, and it's from, you guys can see this down here, it's from Time Life. Come on. There we go. It's from Time Life, and stupid me, I didn't bring my phone with me. That was the second time during vacation I forgot my phone. And you know me, I'm always looking stuff up on my phone. So this was $7. With tax, it was $7.69. But I passed it over the first time we were there because I didn't have my phone. And then we're driving back, and I'm thinking to myself, God, Heather, you're such an idiot. You know that's worth money. Even without your phone, why didn't you just buy it? And so, you know, I'm kind of chastising myself the entire way home. And we finally got back, and I looked it up on eBay, and lo and behold, it's, you know, it's worth a pretty good amount of money. So I got back in the car, and I told my husband, I'm like, I'll be back in 20 minutes. Got back in the car, and then I was pleasantly surprised because I didn't even realize when I first looked at it that all of these except for 2 are brand new and sealed, which is fantastic. One of these, where all of them were new and sealed, just sold for $193. Another one where they were all open but in excellent condition just sold for $75. So I think I'm gonna kind of go in the middle and put mine up. I might try it at auction for maybe $125, plus medium mail shipping. And we'll see what happens with that. But that was a very good purchase. I made my husband stick it in his bag because I had no room in mine. But we ended up getting it home, and I'm very happy with that. So that was the universe telling me that they were sorry for the whole Disney debacle. So that's it, everybody. I thought I'd have a rummage sale next month. Usually there's a huge one next month, but I found out now they had to move it to the end of April, so I'm a little bummed about that, and I'm hoping it doesn't, there's not another one on the same day, but we'll have to see. But anyway, unless I hit any more estate sales, I think that's probably it until the season officially starts. So thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.